to another episode of Arch Rivals, where we will be breaking down what happened in this rainy weekend in the Premier League. We'll kick it off with Spurs and Crystal Palace. You guys watched that game on Friday? Something to note before you guys go into it, Spurs played on Monday, so they had a very short week.
Yeah.
And they still managed to pull out a 2-1 win versus Crystal Palace, remaining undefeated in the Premier League this season and stay on top of the table.
Yeah, it was I was able to watch that one, and it was an interesting game. I think that the scoreline is not completely telling because Crystal Palace didn't really do a whole lot, but neither did Spurs until they get the own goal that Joel Ward scores off of a Madison cross where he just like bangs it into the middle. They definitely looked a little like leggy, but top of the league, getting the job done.
I'll give Ange Postecoglou, I butchered that name. I'll give him his flowers for putting in Brendan Johnson, pulling the right strings whenever he had to. Brendan Johnson looks like he's going to take over that left side. I don't know. We're Charleston fans. You guys can get mad at me, but he came on and looked really dangerous. Made some a lot of forward attacking play with James Madison. He actually got the assist on the Sun goal.
Yeah, I think his first touch was the ball that he headed on
to Madison
for Madison, and then Madison played it back into him, and his second touch was a cross into Son Heung-min
for the assist.
Yeah.
So good for Spurs. I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot in that game, in my opinion.
It was a really boring game.
It was super boring.
If it would have been a draw, I think that would have been a more worthy result. Crystal Palace definitely could have done something at the end. There was the Jordan Ayew kind of banger, honestly.
Banga.
It was a nice goal.
It was a nice goal.
Do you think it was a handball?
No.
Everybody on Twitter was freaking out. I couldn't see it whenever they looked back on it with the VAR checks. I didn't really see a handball, but I'm sure that's what the refs were thinking too. They didn't see a clear and obvious handball to overturn that. So.
Yeah, I thought it was just bad angles.
One angle that made it look
like a handball. Yeah,
maybe.
And other than that,
I'm glad they let that stand because it didn't change the outcome of the game. Jordan Ayew gets to keep that nice goal. It's just good.
Mm-hmm.
Good for Prem fans.
I mean, and then the game opened up a ton for Crystal Palace there at the end, and in those final few minutes, they almost tied it up with one of the last kicks of the game. I forget exactly who it is running in on the back post, but the ball just basically floats into him, and he has a left-footed shot that he sends into the stands. But he had a wide-open goal. Could have made it 2-2. But they stay on top of the league, and everybody else is chasing.
I hate to see it.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
Yeah.
Another thing you hate to see, I know Chris especially hates to see this.
My favorite time of the week.
Dude, it's so messed up. There's really there's nothing going right for Chelsea ever. I mean, we did win today, so
in the EFL
great.
Cup, yeah.
Yeah, we beat Blackburn Rovers. But that's about
You found your level.
Yeah,
well,
just about.
I mean, dude, they come out and Arsenal by no means played well in that game, and I wish I could have been on the pod to talk about it a little bit. But Chelsea bossed us for 60 minutes of that game, easily. Should have had a few goals. They just have
about last week, yeah.
But they just have nobody up top.
Yeah,
Nicholas Jackson genuinely looks like somebody you plucked out of a youth academy and has a ton of talent and is good with the ball, but has no idea what he's doing in terms of making runs. There was one point in this game. I saw a video online just making fun of him basically because Cole Palmer receives the ball, looks up, and is pissed off that Jackson hasn't made a run. And then he passes the ball away and then gets it back from Conor Gallagher and looks up again, and Nicholas Jackson is still just standing there, not making a run.
Yeah, it's
the
a bad
next
look.
Drogba, bro.
Drogba is great though. He's a big game player.
I think you gotta give Jackson
I was
time.
joking.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's
I was
don't play with my emotions like that.
I was quoting one of the other Chelsea fans that we know.
Yeah, there's a few of them that.
Dude, okay, but to be fair, Chelsea looked like the better team for 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes of this game, it was all us. We were bossing the game.
Isn't that typical Chelsea though?
It is.
This
They just
year,
need to score. Why don't they get that early goal and just not? That way you're not freaking out for the rest of it. You don't have to play catch up or even make it a game. There were so many chances in that first half. Madueke, he gets his start on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
he has a ball. He's a beautiful shot go off the top crossbar. Crossbar. I'm from Boston or something.
Crossbar.
Nicholas Jackson does absolutely nothing in this game. I don't even want to talk about him. Kukurea. Okay, I will talk about Cole Palmer looking like
He's a beast.
he's looking like a young KDB whipping balls into the middle.
Okay, all right.
That might be a bit of a
Classic.
overstep. But
Didn't he get hurt today?
Didn't they lose to Brentford?
they did, but we're
Looking
talking
like
about
a
the
young
positives.
KDB.
I'm here to talk about the positives with Chelsea.
I'm
Cole
not.
Palmer looked great. He whipped the ball into Kukurea, he's just not a finisher. I don't know what the deal is. He was point blank with the keeper. Could have put that one on.
I don't know, man.
I know what the deal is.
They need goals, and they don't have anyone in their team that's going to give it to them. Because Raheem's not, like... They need Nkunku. I think there was...
They do need Nkunku.
Like, desperately. Because Pochettino in the middle of the week was saying something along the lines of, you know, another, like, 10 goals along the cross of, like, the rest of the season from Nkunku would, like, work wonders for this team.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if he's the guy that can just, like, put you up 1-0 in this game...
Yeah.
Open it up so that Brentford can't just sit behind the ball, which is what they do most of the time against big teams, especially away from home. Like, they're just going to sit 11 behind the ball, maybe having Mbumo or Wissa, like, standing up near the halfway line. But they just basically waited you out, scored, a nice goal by Ethan Pinnock, but...
Honestly, I'm blaming the Chelsea defenders. Like, nobody is going to pick up the massive man running to the back post run. Like,
dead
there's
sprint,
nobody back there. Yeah, I have nothing to defend about this team. They're so bad right now. I hope that they can turn it around. We need Nkunku. I think he comes back and he's our striker at this point. Because Cole Palmer, he's locked down a starting spot. I think Mudryk, when he's healthy, he'll slot in. Him and Sterling will compete for points, but we need Nkunku so bad. So bad. That's all I can ask for.
It's always something.
It is
It's always something that
You
the
know
Chelsea fans need. This is the piece, bro. This is going to change everything.
He's the missing piece of the
Caicedo
puzzle.
was the missing piece, too.
Well, you need a striker. You need somebody who can put balls in the back of the net, and they just don't have it.
I just don't know why, even if your whole mantra is to get like youth talent and develop it, they should have just spent some money on a proven striker of any sort.
Nkunku is like
he's not a striker.
He could play the 10 or he could strike. I think he could play either one.
I think he's too little to be a striker. I think he's a winger or a 10.
And he's injury prone.
Yeah,
that's the worst part. Speaking of injury prone, Reece James is back. That's a positive.
Should we do the over-under for how long he's back?
How many games he plays? Because right now I think his record for the last like 3 years is 7 games without getting another injury.
That's terrible.
That's right back in the league.
I mean, he is when he's healthy.
I was about to say, when he is actually healthy, he's truly unplayable.
Yeah.
But
well, they
it's
played
just
him.
never healthy at all.
I was surprised to see they played him versus Blackburn today. Rovers. They played him.
You just used one of your 7 punches on the card.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was that for? We needed to get one round further in the EFL Cup. That wasn't a good idea.
Oh God.
Let's talk about the other side a little bit. Brentford struggling kind of early on in the season. Looks like they're picking up some form here.
Getting some form going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, obliterated, I believe it was Fulham 3-0. Might be wrong on that. But some disgusting goals by Mbumo and Wissa in that game. And then, I mean, Mbumo gets a goal in this game, and it's at the end. And this is kind of a controversial moment. Okay, so it was Burnley that they annihilated.
They beat Burnley, yeah.
And Mbumo gets a goal at the end of this game after a corner that Robert Sanchez goes up, and it's definitely against like the wishes of his manager.
They were gonna lose anyway. Like
he had a him moment, but he wasn't him.
Yeah, but like losing 2-0 to Brentford at home, in my opinion, looks like worse than losing 1-0. Like 1-0, they got a lucky goal. They played the game they wanted to play.
Yeah, but what if he scored that header?
Exactly.
Man?
Like I'd rather.
There's like 2 keepers that have ever done it. It's like Allison and like Schmeichel.
I want that little 0.05% of a chance of us winning of tying that game with Robert Sanchez up in the 95th minute. I'll take that over over like 0. I don't know, optics looking 0-1, 1-0. I don't care if we lose.
Did they
2-0,
call the
1-0
game right after he scored that? Because
it was pretty much over. It was the dying minute of the game.
96
what if he
minute.
made that save and then booted the ball into the box?
Well, he almost did because he tries to trample Neil Maupay and he just passes it away.
Yeah, Neil Maupay's not it.
He's not him.
He got hawked by a goalkeeper.
Well, they bought him because he got bought by Brighton.
Because Shawta got hurt. They needed a replacement on the wing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, he also played for them in the championship, Brentford, and scored 20-something goals. That's why they bought him again.
He's a
washed.
bum.
Yeah, he's just not a good finisher.
And Mbumo gets his second one, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Chelsea's so bad right now, it hurts to even talk about. I try to keep it positive, but not much to be positive about. Unless you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah. Nketiah in the room.
There it is.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't going to sing.
Sing the whole
I'm not
thing.
singing the whole thing, no.
God damn
Because
it.
he'll go out next week and put up a stinker and miss 3 sitters. But he looked unplayable in this game.
Versus Sheffield.
Yeah, which is...
Who have 1 point, I believe.
And have conceded
negative 29 goal
30
difference,
goals
maybe.
or something ridiculous.
Let me look up
They're
goal
up there
difference
with
for them.
the worst starts in Premier League history.
They might do a Derby County. It's possible. Because they are looking rough.
Let me see what their table
But
is.
Nketiah gets 3 goals. The first was a nice little touch and finish from a Declan Rice assist. The second is, you were saying it was a score hero goal where it falls
Close
to you
range
from the
bang.
corner and then you just draw the line to the top corner.
Straight to it, no curve intended.
Score Hero, please sponsor the pod. Great
Yeah.
game. We love it.
Score Hero, you've made me almost break my phone so many times.
Score Hero, you've single-handedly dropped my grades while in college.
And then Emil Smith-Rowe, who started this game, gets an assist. And he doesn't really have to do anything to get the assist because Eddie Nketiah scores probably the goal of the week.
Yeah.
With this strike from 25-ish out and just rifles it into the top left. Not a whole lot else to talk about. Fabio Vieira gets a penalty goal.
Why did they give him... I was talking about that with you earlier. Why did they give him the penalty?
Yeah. I think his aunt died or something like that. Or she's sick and he wanted him to feel better. But if I'm Nketiah... There are 2 players who have ever scored 4 goals in a Premier League match for Arsenal, and it's Thierry Henry and Andre Arshavin. So,
the GOAT.
I'm taking that penalty. I am absolutely taking that penalty.
Yeah, because what if he go get 5 after that?
Yeah, because
Now
then
you're on top.
Because then Tomiyasu scores a 5th, which is just another one of the corner goals where it just falls to him in the box.
Chaos.
Yeah. It was.
So is Eddie Nketiah? Do you feel like he's your guy now? Are you still?
I feel. I mean,
as an Arsenal fan,
I don't feel good
Okay.
about it. No, I don't think we're gonna win the league if Eddie Nketiah has to start the majority of our games at striker.
Damn. So you're not winning the league then?
Yeah.
just don't
I mean,
think you're
Gabby
winning the
Jesus is out
league.
for a couple weeks, but
Do you think Arsenal goes out and they sign a striker?
I just don't
I
know
hope
who they
so.
would sign. I hope they sign a striker.
Osimhen?
I want Osimhen. That's who I would want. Just because I think he would gel well with the players that we already have. But
And he wouldn't get made fun of
Yeah.
in his own club.
But
They
I
sh-
don't think we're gonna buy Ivan Toney, even though he's twerking on the internet for us.
Thomas Frank was on Sky Sports or one of the pundit shows.
Yeah.
And he was really selling Ivan Toney. He was
Yeah, because they're dude, we're gonna get a bag for this.
Yeah.
And if they sell him in January, his contract expires not this upcoming summer, but the one after that. So they'll have a chance in the summer to sell him and make a bag. But if people come after him in January, I could see Chelsea coming after him or Arsenal. I just don't think we're gonna sign him because Arteta doesn't like players that make a bunch of
Fuck shit
noise.
up.
Yeah, just fuck up the locker room.
Yeah.
Aubameyang puts up a fuss out the door instantly. Doesn't play another minute. And I feel like he's just going to look at that player, and I get that he's class and he is a different profile to what we have, but I don't think we're going to buy him. And I think Evan Ferguson, who's probably the other young talented striker that's out there is going to cost like 150 mil. So
yeah, probably.
I don't think we're
But
buying
if
him.
Nketiah keeps bagging goals, you got a little collateral,
Dude,
with
when
some cash.
Yeah, that's true.
With dangle
I'd flip Nketiah right now to get Evan Ferguson
or
in the door
Ivan
at all.
Toney.
I
See,
wouldn't
Ivan
get
Toney,
Ivan
I feel weird about because he feels like an unknown commodity in my opinion now after not playing for so long. Obviously, he had a great season with Brentford before he got that ban, but now you're like, what are you getting? I don't know. We haven't seen him play for months now.
I mean, I'm assuming he's been like training and hopefully not gambling.
Hopefully.
Let's hope. With all the
Italians,
gambling addicts.
The 40
that have
Italians
come
that got busted.
Dude, Tonali gone forever.
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
Well, oh man, let's move on.
Speaking of gone forever, Dan Burn getting his. Oh no, we're on to Bournemouth
and
Burnley. Yeah,
not a whole lot going on.
Game of the week.
Yeah, I don't really care about this game if I'm being honest.
I mean, it's a big game if you're a Burnley fan or a Bournemouth fan because Bournemouth were bottom of the league prior to this, and Burnley were like tied with them on points, but ahead of them on goal difference or something.
It was close. Now Bournemouth have 6, Burnley have 4. So
Yeah,
that means that
Bournemouth would have been
was
19th.
below.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
And
Math.
I mean, they just have not been looking good at all. I have a feeling they're gonna sack Iraola soon, but if they can stay up, that's all you can ask for at this point because the season's kind of in the gutter almost. Like we're getting to that point of the year where you're like, let's sack the coach, bring in a new one, and just play players that we think are promising and hope that we can stay up.
Who do you think stays? Bournemouth, Luton, or Burnley? Who stays in the Prem? Because it's not going to be Sheffield. Sheffield, I've written off completely.
Yeah, they're gone.
They got a negative
idea.
22 goal differential for those who
Luton.
care.
Dude, I am more
Luton
confident.
Staying? I'm here for that.
I'm more
I know you
confident
are.
in Luton staying than I am Burnley at this point.
Luton brought in some veterans. They got
Andros Townsend
Barkley
and
Ross Barkley in there.
Both of whom I've been eyeing.
On the waiver wire.
waivers.
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes you get a favorable matchup. Speaking of players that got a favorable matchup, I just traded for Philip Billing. Pretty stoked about him. He had kind of a wonder goal in this last game. That's about all I care about.
The goat.
Caught the Burnley goalkeeper way off his line and just kind of flicked one over the top.
Yeah, he gets his hand to it, but his hand to it and like almost saves it, but it ends up in the back of the net. That's
a massive goal. It gets Bournemouth 3 points, 76th minute.
Yeah,
the audacity, man.
Semenyo scores a nice goal in this one. I mean, all the goals in this one are pretty nice. Like that Charlie Taylor volley. Is a banger. There's nothing that is gonna save this Burnley team.
Nothing. Not even.
I think they're
Brownhill. What's the guy's name?
I just think they're gonna fire Company, and that's like probably the only thing that could save them. Because I think he has like a pretty long leash for getting like record number of points in the championship, like 100 plus or something. But you can't play like this in the Prem with this talent. Like you are just gonna get run through every week.
I guess I just don't understand. Like I don't see the point in firing Vincent Kompany this season at all. Like just see what happens. You really feel like changing up the play style that this whole squad knows how to play and had success with in the championship? You think changing up everything mid-season is going to be better for Burnley?
It would take a massive player overhaul for Vincent Kompany to play the style that he wants to play and succeed in the Premier League.
Yeah, maybe.
He like wants to play
pep ball
almost. And he has
Doesn't
players that
got some 12-year-olds
need to play like Roy Hodgson ball.
Agreed.
He should be playing 4-4-2 and just
ball.
Brexit ball the whole time.
Absolutely. Lyle Foster and Amdouni up top, get Koleosho out on a wing and hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, he'll get hired by a better team.
Yeah, I think that if he does get fired during this season, I think a different Prem side that ends up firing their coach could come after him in the not-so-distant future. Like somebody with a bit more talent.
Bournemouth.
Maybe. Does Bournemouth have the quality to play type of style?
No, because they're trying to play.
Flashes.
They have quality players, and none of them know how to play together. like at all. Yeah, at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Like Dango Ouattara doesn't even see the field, and he's like a very promising player that they bought last year at the end of the season. I just feel like Dominic Solanke is just like dragging them. Him and Philip Billing are just like dragging that team along.
The boys.
Yeah.
Tavernier.
Light skin squad.
Yeah. The boys.
Dominic Solanke and Philip Billing pull up on your girl like.
Oh, man.
I'm finna chip your bitch.
Oh, man. Speaking of the light skin squad, Callum Wilson gets 2 this weekend.
Yeah.
My
he
boy.
was real cool, calm, and collected about his goals, too. Every time he scored, he was just like...
Yeah.
It's like he was running for president. He was just out there. He was so cool. He was just saluting people in the stands, like, show some emotion. Show some passion.
He's just...
he didn't care. He's just old. He's like...
He's a hired gun, man. He is like one of those strikers. He reminds me of Troy Deeney a lot. Not necessarily in play style. They just like...
He's a hired gun.
Yeah, he's just somebody you can like if any team in the Prem needed a striker right now to bag like 10 goals from now to the end of the season, I think you could buy Callum Wilson. It would be guaranteed.
Definitely. He's a mercenary.
Yeah.
And Newcastle need him.
He's a mercenary.
He is. I mean, Newcastle need him because Isak's out, and so now he's going to be their main man. I know Milo's feeling some type of way about that in a good way.
Calculated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, his first goal is not very calculated. And then Wolves come back and get one from a Mario Lamina thumping header on a Pedro Neto assist.
Pedro Neto.
Yeah. And
What's he at? Let me look that up.
What his stats are this season?
At the physio's room.
He does pull up on that run late on in the game and just grab his hamstring, but he's only out for a couple weeks from what I read. So the second Newcastle goal is probably the softest penalty I've seen given in the Prem this year. Like the worst call.
Ian's just mad because he lost.
I am partially. I mean, that wouldn't have saved me, though. So, like, it doesn't matter. It's just a bad call because he doesn't even touch him. I don't know how he looks at VAR and is still like, yeah, that's a pen.
Are we surprised?
Not that surprised because the refs are shit, but I don't know. That's just never a penalty to me. But, like, that's not even a foul if it's somewhere in the midfield. I bet they just, like, play on.
Don't get me started on the refs, dog.
I know. Well,
I got nothing to add to that.
Fouls Fabian Schär, gives Callum Wilson a freebie. They're up 2-1. Wolves come back in the second half, kind of dominate the game a little bit. I mean, it's pretty back and forth, but the better chances are going for Wolves. And then Hwang Hee-chan, that Korean guy.
Okay, give some context so
He's
we
the
don't
man.
get canceled the same
Yeah.
way.
We've talked about this like 4 weeks in a row.
I know.
Okay.
Well, that's because Pep's never going to live it down. But he's a beast, bro. That goal that he scores with his left foot, just like the ball played into the near post, cuts it back with the outside of his left foot.
That's the weirdest part about the goal,
Yeah.
is he used his left foot to cut back in. Most people would chop with their opposite foot and then shoot with the left foot there. He cuts with his left.
He got that Leo Messi left foot.
He kind of does.
I was going to say, Thierry Henry was just talking about that goal that Messi scored where it was a way better goal, obviously.
Yeah, any Messi goal is probably putting Hwang Hee-chan
where he
to shame.
pretty much elasticos with the same foot as a chop. Yeah. Hell of a goal. I wonder if anybody will try to sign Hwang. It's just crazy because for the longest time, Wolves couldn't decide if they wanted to start him or not.
If they wanted to keep him.
Yeah.
They were like looking at selling him in the summer, and now him and Pedro Neto are just running the show.
Even when he was coming off the bench, he'd come off the bench and score.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. They're new coaches. He's doing a good job.
Gary
They
O'Neill.
really are, because I really had Wolves getting relegated.
Like hardcore
Yeah,
relegated.
I thought that they had sold their core and they were just like, they were not going to try. Pedro Neto is a big part of that. Chang, a big part of that. Hwang, big part of that.
Yeah.
Chan, what?
Hwang Hee-chan.
Hwang Hee-chan. I can't mess that up.
I always think it's funny because on TV they just say Hwang.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's because it's a cultural thing where
it is.
your last name goes first.
Neto has 7 assists in 10 appearances and 1 goal. So that's a huge blow for them. They do have Sheffield next, so that's kind of like hopefully Neto's not out for. You said he was out for a few weeks.
I think he's out for a few weeks. Yeah.
I wonder how accurate that is. We know how injuries can kind of spiral.
I feel like in the Prem usually they're pretty accurate, but you never know.
Yeah.
And it honestly hurts his stock a ton if he has to miss extended period of time because I think Wolves can probably rack up enough points before the midpoint of the season to where they're going to stay up and they're probably going to look at him as new bag.
Agreed.
And try to sell him on.
Where are they at right now?
In the table?
They are 12th, and they have 12 points. So they're tied with Chelsea. Oh, my God.
Dude, I think 24, 25 points keeps you in the Prem this year.
This year, shit.
I mean,
it might be
9
15.
points might keep you in the Prem.
I was about to look at it. What kept people in the Prem last year? Everton stayed in with 36.
Last year was pretty competitive at the bottom.
Yeah, it was.
This year is not.
Yeah. This year, I think Sheffield might stay under 10 points.
This year it looks like the competition is trying to get relegated.
What
you laughing for, Chelsea fan?
Dude, Chelsea's not getting relegated. Mark my words, that's not happening here.
Oh, man. 2 teams.
Hold on. Wait. How many points?
How many points does Chelsea have?
Yeah, okay.
12.
Wolves isn't
They got
getting
12.
relegated. Neither is Chelsea.
Okay, who's third to last right now? How many do they have?
Bournemouth has 10 or 6
Bournemouth has
points.
6. Yeah, we got double. We're
That's
clear.
a couple wins off you.
We're clear. Don't worry about it.
Shit, they might play each other soon. Who knows?
No, I think Chelsea's getting put through the blender now.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what's about to
true.
happen.
Chelsea is about to go through the blender. They play Tottenham next week.
Oh boy.
I could see them getting a win there. That seems like a very Chelsea thing to do. Get a win there and then get routed by City or something.
It kind of feels like Chelsea plays up to their competition.
Absolutely.
Like they had a competitive game against Liverpool.
At the
They
beginning
definitely
of
had
the
a
game.
competitive game against Arsenal.
Mhm.
Should have won that game. That was bullshit. And so we'll see what they do against Tottenham. But
Hopefully they win.
Yeah, I think
Oh, you
everybody
rooting for
wants
Chelsea?
them to win.
Fuck Tottenham, bro.
yeah, I agree. Fuck them.
I'm rooting for anybody that's playing whoever's top of the league unless it's me.
Agreed. Especially if it's City.
And I know we're talking about Chelsea maybe getting relegated. These 2 teams, people thought they might be relegation fodder this year.
Everton was close to it.
Yeah, Everton is close to it.
Yeah, they still could.
West Ham looking real confusing right now.
West Ham just plays a style that is just like so hit or miss. It's either Jared Bowen and
Antonio.
Paqueta and Antonio are going to like make magic in the few times in the game that they have like a one-on-one opportunity and score a goal, or you're just going to have the ball for like 20% of the game and have like 3 shots. None of them are good and you just lose. Because they just play like ultimate Brexit ball.
Well, this game was weird because they had more possession versus Everton here.
Because Everton is Sean
Also,
Dyche.
Yeah, they're
Also,
also playing Brexit
it was
ball.
like
They found their match.
who can like not have the ball the most.
Yeah.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin scores a nice goal in this one. I'm happy to see him back to some form.
You think he's back?
No, I don't think so yet. But if he ends the season on like 10 goals, I think that's like a great comeback season off of the amount of injuries that he's had.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Chelsea buys him.
I don't know if he's worth that right now. Maybe back in the day. I was about to go look up some deep cut Calvert-Lewin stats to talk about his career back in the day, but I don't know if I can get there fast enough.
It's all
I'm
right.
talking
I
about
think
back in the day, like dude's like 30 years old.
Well, that was the season. 2020, 2021 season, he had 16 goals.
Yeah.
So
He was dunking on kids. Yeah.
2019, 2020, he was 13. So he was on the come up, and now, I mean, he's just been riddled with injuries.
I think
so.
his time for like a really big money move has passed.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever go to a traditional top 6 to top 8 team. But I think if he can find his level again and keep Everton in the league, he can kind of hang out there and go down as like
He
a
could
club
be-
legend.
He'd be Tony's replacement.
I
That-
feel like
he could
he'll
do
like keep the boat afloat for Everton until they have money again to invest in like players. Right now they've been investing in that stadium forever. So
Well,
if him and Decore can just keep it up for the next year.
So the big news about Everton is they have been investigated for a specific breach of FFP where they spent like 360 million or had like 360 million of losses in a single calendar year, which is almost 3 times, if not more than 3 times, what you're legally allowed to have by the Premier League's bylaws.
Pretty sure that's worth more than the entire Colorado Rapids franchise.
Probably. They're talking about
Colorado
this
Rapids
1 year
catches strays.
of them breaching FFP being a 12-point deduction.
Wow. I think they have 12 points right now.
They have 10.
Oh, damn.
So
Some Derby County shit.
Yeah.
-2.
Some where's the city charges at?
that's what I'm talking about. That's why I wanted to bring this up, because how is it so simple and easy? Like, okay, there's 2 ways to go about this for the Prem. They can either just start charging Man City with all of like the different ones that they've already investigated and probably found them guilty of, because they've built their throne or built their like castle upon Indian burial grounds, basically, of like fake money being put into the club. Or they can wait until the end, where they've investigated all 100 and X amount of charges, 111 or something ridiculous. And then at the end, they're like, well, if we gave them a 12-point deduction for one like specific charge, 111, what is that worth? What is it worth to you guys?
Straight to the bottom tier league.
Got to go back down to the 6th division?
Yes. But at that point, what does that really mean? Because you'll be right back. No, you won't, because that's a lot of seasons to
That's
get back
6
up.
seasons.
You can't keep paying all them people all that money.
Well, because you got new financial restrictions once you go down there. All your players leave.
You're not pulling in the same kind of cash you would if you were playing Prem games.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I do want to see some like real repercussions for
Cheating.
Like
Yeah.
actual cheating. Like people in America freaked out about the Astros like sign stealing. Like that's different to me than like spending money and actually cheating the system.
How is it different? Cheating is cheating.
Cheating is cheating.
I think
but
City's worse.
yeah, I agree. I think it's way worse. Because, like, if every team in the Prem could just, go get a loan from the bank and spend fake money, then, like, what's the point? There is none. They need to be punished for this. That's the end of my
Now.
rant.
I feel a little hypocritical as a Chelsea fan because we're also getting investigated for
Yeah, your
some
time's
stuff
coming
back in the
soon,
day.
too.
But I don't know, man.
It's annoying because with all these charges and such for City, Chelsea, any team.
Well, all these Prems
What are they
and
going to do?
trophies that have
Strip
been
them?
won.
Yeah, they're not going to.
It's
No.
just
not
going to be
gonna
like...
strip
It's
them.
too much history, especially for City. Like they cemented themselves.
But it's cheating, man.
How do you stop it going forward? I think that's the better question.
I
Because
think-
you can't just strip people.
I
at
mean,
this
The
point.
biggest issue in reality is that the Premier League's in on it, so like they're not
Yeah,
losing.
to a certain degree.
They're not gonna.
I think that whatever governing body is actually overseeing like financial fair play needs to have like real teeth and like power over these situations, because it seems like any time that ever happens,
They're getting paid,
I
bro.
was going to
They're
say,
getting
FIFA is the
paid.
most corrupt, and it's not even FIFA that's running this. I know that, but it just shows like the top dog organization in world football is the most corrupt. I mean, everything else below it on the pyramid is going to fall in line that way.
gotta cut the head of the snake.
Yeah.
Once you start cutting heads, though, then you find out you're fighting a Hydra.
Okay, all right.
Luton was fighting a Hydra.
That was
this
fire, bro.
this weekend. That
Speaking
was
of a
good.
3-headed beast.
Luton, Villa's able to put 3 past Luton, and it would have been 3-0 if it wasn't for Konza just
Forgetting which
messing
box
up.
he was in.
Yeah. John McGinn with some nice feet on the first goal.
Mm-hmm.
Douglas Luiz gets an assist on that one. Sadly, his streak gets broken with this game of scoring in 6 consecutive home games, I believe it was,
Oh, wow.
for the Villains. And then Moussa Diaby has a beautiful strike off of a Leon Bailey assist where he just like thumps a volley into the bottom corner.
I love those half volley goals that are just struck low and hard.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
It was he's I think really going to be a game changer for them. Diaby is, because we saw the attack with just Ollie Watkins as like the main threat, and then everyone kind of trying to help him out.
Mm-hmm.
And he just adds like a whole new element to their attack with the pace that he has off the ball and his striking ability. He's had some great goals this year. And then Leon Bailey actually saw some time in this game because I think that the other signing they made on loan for Nicolo Zaniolo is not going to work out. He has started like 4 or 5 consecutive games and done absolutely nothing.
You had him on your fantasy team?
Yes.
It's bad.
I was like, I can hear the pain.
No, it's very painful. I wasted I wasted a waiver wire spot for that, and he just sucks. Even though, I don't know, he had some promise coming up at Roma, and then at Galatasaray, I think he looked pretty good. But
he's just an ego.
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't be surprised if he went down with the other Italians for the betting.
I thought he was very involved in that.
I don't know.
Well,
we gotta wait for the ban.
Them damn
Villa
Italians.
is undefeated in their last 6, and they've won 5 of their last 6. So
Dude, to get thumped by Newcastle and then do this, like go on a run like this.
Don't forget about the villains.
I think they are like the scariest team for
the dark horse.
Any top like 6 side to like go away to.
It's totally true. I mean, they could sneak into a Champions League spot if they really push for it.
Shit, at that rate, they wouldn't be sneaking.
Yeah, they would just be in it.
Yeah,
it's tough though. It's really, when you think about it, I say that, and it's really tough for me to see them finishing above any of the top 4 teams right now.
Well,
Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Tottenham. You really see them getting above them in points at all?
So the word on the street is that with the new Champions League format that we're going to, the weight of your teams, like all of England's teams' performance in Champions League and Europa League and all of that is probably going to get them a 5th Champions League slot. So
this year?
Yes.
Oh wow.
So it's somewhere between 4 and 5, and I think that most people think it's going to end up being a 5th slot.
Okay.
So
listen, I'm a certified hater. I admit that. But I think this Aston Villa side would beat Tottenham.
Wow.
I don't know.
Could.
I'd have to see it. I don't know when they play each other. I'd like to see when they do, because I think that both of them, I think Villa are like coming into their best vein of form right now of the season, and it seems like Tottenham might be slowing down a little bit, and as long as they can stay injury-free, they might be able to fight through this kind of rough period.
Villa's just scoring goals for fun, man.
That's what I'm saying.
And
they
last game,
lethal.
they won 4-1, and Ollie Watkins didn't get a goal or an assist.
Yeah.
And that's...
I'm trying to look at their schedule.
That's like what's
strong
taking
it
them
is.
to the next level is like you were saying, you don't have to rely on Ollie Watkins to be the guy that's dragging you through to the win. He can have an off game and you can still win 4-1.
Yeah. So
they played Luton, but
yeah. I mean, their schedule coming up, you're going to get your wish pretty soon.
Yeah.
They play Nottingham Forest next week,
So that's
and
a
then
win.
2 weeks from now they play
Fulham,
and then we have, I believe, an international break. And coming back from that international break, which kind of sucks because that kind of kills your form as a team to a certain degree. But then they'll play Tottenham.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on November 26th.
Tottenham will have Bentancur back.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that he did come on in that game against Crystal Palace, and I think he's probably going to take Sarr's spot in the midfield.
Agreed.
Sarr is like really pacey,
A lot of potential.
Very
Very
but
young.
he's very unproven. He just looks a little erratic sometimes when he gets the ball at his feet.
It's been working for him though with who's the other guy in the
Basuma.
middle? Basuma with him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're on a different level right now. But the next game we got to talk about, Brighton, Fulham, snooze fest. Not a whole lot
I'm
to say
done
about
with
this one.
Brighton, man. I'm
They're
tired of it.
It's just too hit or miss, and I think we're finally seeing the repercussions for selling so many players.
They've also gotten so many injuries. They got Estupiñán hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They got not Pascal Gross. Solly March is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is hurt over there?
I
I think they had one more big one.
think they just need to find a consistent 11.
It's tough though. Whenever they now have to play in Europa League.
Yeah.
They just got to rotate so many players. I mean, they're one more injury, I think, away from really falling out. Like, they started Adam Lallana at the cam the other day.
Yeah, and honestly, he didn't look bad in this game.
What you hating for?
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like he's just not up to that.
I feel like people would have said that about Solly March like 2 years ago. Would have been like, yeah, he's not really, very good. And now everybody kind of recognizes that he's a pretty quality player. I think Adam Lallana can be serviceable in that slot. This game should have been, I think, at least 2-1 in Brighton's favor. Adingra misses like a open goal in the first 15 minutes of the game. That should have been a goal. Fulham just have no attacking threat at all.
Bite.
Yeah, they depend on
Raul Jimenez starting. That's crazy to me. He's done. Sell him.
He can link it up a little bit, but I don't think he
can't
might go.
He can't be your striker in in that system.
Prem team.
Yeah,
I agree. He might go a full season as a Prem striker and not score a goal, which would be nuts. But Evan Ferguson gets a nice one in this game. Assist from Pascal Gross. It's a very nice, just receive it at the top of the box, one touch, get it out of your feet, and finish with your left foot. And then Yao Palinha with a fucking nuke.
After a failed move to Bayern, he's having a pretty nice season here at Fulham. So
he's
nukes. Definitely moving on after maybe even in the January window.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if Bayern come back in for him because he was literally in Germany on deadline day.
I know.
He was in a
supposed
Bayern jersey, and it didn't go through. So
I wouldn't be mad to see him in red.
Oh, dude, if you guys could get Paulinho to sew up the midfield, have McAllister and Szoboszlai start at the 8s. Yeah, it's horny until they don't buy him because you know what Liverpool could be like sometimes.
They know they're about to get a bag from Mo Salah, so they're kind of cashing
Mo
on
Salah's
that.
not going nowhere, man.
He's definitely leaving.
Why would he when he's on the brink of breaking so many records?
Yeah, I think that's true. He will break a bunch of records in the Prem and will probably stay to
in
do
your
so.
dreams, Mo Salah leaves. Chelsea fans praying to the gods.
He's my fantasy staple right now, so I hope he stays. But
listen, just because Saudi Arabia came with all that money trying to get him doesn't mean he was entertaining it.
I think he was entertaining it.
Why?
I feel like he would like living in the Middle East and probably would take the pay rise.
With the opportunity to solidify yourself as one of the greatest Premier League players of all time.
I don't think he can surpass Ronaldo as the greatest winger in Prem history. So I think that he's probably done his job in terms of becoming a Liverpool great and scoring a bunch of goals.
I think he's got 4 or 5 more years in him.
Are you serious?
At Liverpool?
Yeah.
No.
That's crazy.
That's not true.
He's literally in the form of his life right now. He's 30 years old.
I mean, he had his best statistical season last year.
He's 31, so 5 more years that'd be crazy at Liverpool.
Wingers age poorly. They rely on pace.
He doesn't anymore, though.
I think it's still more part of his game than you would probably like to admit.
He's also still jacked out of his mind.
Yeah, no, he's a physical specimen, but there's no way he plays 4 more years for Liverpool in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he ends up in the Saudi league. Maybe not
next year.
Not in January, but probably after that.
I think
contract
he retires at Liverpool.
What did he sign? A 3-year deal prior to the season, so that'll probably be the end of his Liverpool career.
Wait, that 3-year deal was prior to last season, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think so, because it was a big deal whether or not they were going to sell one of the two, Sadio Mane or Mo Salah, and they sold Mane and signed Salah to a new deal.
Let's see. Yeah, they have him under contract until 2025. So that'll take him through age 32. Damn, he's making 350,000 euros a week.
And that a week. That was a really big deal for them because Liverpool historically, no team in the league.
It's the team over the player.
Yeah, basically. They can't afford to pay people like that because then any new signing is going to come in and just make outrageous demands. Yeah. That's why you see Casemiro making $500,000 on Man U.
I want to see what Darwin's making.
Well, when you're paying the best player in the league, it's worth every penny.
Damn, Darwin signed until 2027. He's making $140,000 per week.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Speaking of, we're talking about Liverpool contracts and everything. Let's just get into their game. They routed Nottingham Forest. Not really a surprise in this situation.
Yeah.
Diogo Jota he fills in on the left side for Luis Diaz, who's currently. I mean, I thought it was funny how not funny, but weird how the commentators.
What's so funny
it's
about
not
it?
funny, bro.
Get the
It's
foot
really-
out of your mouth.
It's not funny. It's the commentators. They were like
He's
he's having familial issues, and I was like, bro, just say that his parents were abducted
Kidnapped.
in
Yeah.
Colombia. Like
I don't
that is
know.
so serious.
Yeah.
They got his mom back. We were reading the article before. They got his mom back, but his dad is still in
Missing.
the woods.
Yeah.
So
I think it's okay that they don't mention it during the game because I feel like there's probably a lot of children watching, and you don't necessarily need to like say that and freak a bunch of kids out.
are you kidding me? That was like the number one thing on my radar when I was 6. They were like, I was like, I'm just trying to survive and not get abducted. That was like the number one
they were like,
thing.
don't talk to us, don't take any candy.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody was like, don't get kidnapped. So,
Stop,
like,
drop, and roll.
It was all these things that you
I don't
thought
know
were
if
gonna
it's
be a bigger
as
problem.
much of a worry everywhere as it is in
I
America.
think it's
Maybe
more
you're
of
right. Maybe you're right.
I think
Like-
it's more of a respecting the situation and not trying to put his business out
Yeah.
there like that. Like everybody already knows, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If you want to know, you can find out. That's what I think it is. Like, you
Well-
can just say familial issues, and then if people are like, I wonder what's going on with his family, they can go on the internet and figure it out if they want to.
Diogo Jota had a nice little tribute after he scored his tap in.
Took off his jersey to show off the Luis Diaz one.
I think
No,
he
he
just went
just
and
pulled
picked
one
up a
out.
Luis Diaz jersey and held it up to the fans.
Yeah.
So, but he scored his tap in off of Darwin's pretty nice strike. I'm not gonna lie. I wish
Would've
I had
been a
Darwin
banger.
Nunez. I can't believe he doesn't start consistently for y'all, but maybe that'll start now.
That's just I think he just gets little knocks and gets rested sometimes because we have that luxury.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bit of a machine.
Yeah, he's kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Scored a
He
banger
has
today.
He has a he did.
Yeah. Well, it was looped. Kind of middle of the goal.
It was kind of a banger.
Not really. It kind of curled over the goalie.
We don't got to
It
talk
was
about
not
EFL
even
Cup.
side net though.
He scores one in
He
this
hit a fucking
game.
banger. Anyway, he's got a goal contribution every 55 minutes this league.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
mean
nice.
this season.
His goal in this game was just kind of like a tap in.
Beautiful ball from Salah to Soboslai.
Mhm.
Soboslai
He hits him with the
slotted
little-
that ball nicely too.
Little
Sal-
hezzy.
Yeah,
Little
Salah
hezzy.
hit that little stop-start move.
Bro,
Yeah.
that shit was dirty.
Just like, okay.
That would fuck
Just
me
like
up.
sent it. That was probably good for the listeners.
That would send me for a hot dog, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
I'd break a leg, yeah. Passes it into Soboslai, who absolutely hits a pisser straight at Darwin's foot.
Yeah, and then
Roofs it.
the whole internet was like, damn, he almost missed this one. Because he sends it in, like, he's a foot away from the goal and sends it directly straight up into
There's
the
so
roof
much
of the
pace
net.
on it.
They make fun of him when he almost scores, and they make fun of him when he almost misses. You know,
Yeah.
almost only counts horseshoes.
Even
and
the
hand
commentator
grenades.
said something about that. He was like,
Mhm.
sometimes he misses,
Yeah.
sometimes he scores. I don't know exactly. I paraphrased that, but he was still giving him a little bit of shade.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's kind of messed up considering he scored.
I know we're not talking about today, but like that goal, his first touch, he almost like just let it go
Yeah.
out of bounds.
Nice.
He's definitely an agent of chaos.
He's just raw.
Yeah.
He's raw. Once they get that refined sugar, ooh, he's no longer raw
He-
sugar. Right now, he's just a sugar cane.
Pure sugar cane.
Now we're gonna turn him into some granulated sugar, and then he's gonna be crazy.
Nah, I need my high fructose corn syrup.
That's an American thing. Talk to
Everything's
Matt.
better.
Yeah, we got to
about
talk to
that.
Matt Turner about the high fructose corn syrup.
and how
I think
he
it's getting to
bottled
him.
his chance in this game, and he just like
It was a weird situation because the defender that was back could have easily headed the ball as well. It just kind of felt like neither of them made a decision, except Matt Turner did make the decision to
about
be
to
like
say.
30 yards out of his box for no reason.
He
Yeah.
was
Mo
out
Salah gets a
there-
freebie.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
Sabazlai getting his first and second assist in the season. I don't think he really deserves that second one, but
beautiful bastard.
Oh man,
He's,
can we talk about Mo Salah's stats right now? 10 appearances, 8 goals, 4 assists. That's unreal. He's got 0.8 goals per match.
I mean, he's at a
Stats for ya.
1.2 XGA per match, goals and
Yeah.
assists per game.
I think he has 10 goals, 10 assists across all comps.
All comps.
Or something stupid.
Yeah.
Age 31.
If we win some stuff this season, might be ending this season with a Ballon d'Or contender if he keeps this up.
Who even cares about the Ballon d'Or? Messi just won, and
when he shouldn't have.
yeah, he probably shouldn't have
Great.
won.
Now the Ballon d'Or doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, dude.
Dude, it's getting
It really
outdated because
doesn't.
the journalists, it's 100 journalists, and I don't want to get into an anti-Messi discussion because he is the greatest player ever. I will admit that. But if we're not going to recognize Erling Haaland breaking a record that stood for 20 years in the Prem and winning a treble,
And he didn't get the Ballon d'Or.
and he didn't win the Ballon d'Or,
and City finally getting their Champions League that they've been looking for.
he was the missing piece.
Yeah.
I just think
That's kind of crazy.
It
that
might
he's
be
not
worse
the winner.
than the Lewandowski one, to be honest.
well, they didn't even give one out that year. So
Yeah.
No,
the one where
The
Lewa
COVID
should have won,
year?
they just
Oh.
didn't give one out. They were like, "Yep, we're just skipping this year."
That's
when
crazy.
Lewa
Even though
would
they're
have won
still
it.
playing.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
yeah.
I mean, Messi
I mean, there's been other robberies. I think Iniesta should have won one
against
because,
Messi.
Yeah, against Messi because he won the World Cup on top of all the same achievements as Messi, except for the goals. But I don't know. It's a popularity contest at this point, in my opinion.
Give Van Dijk his golden ball from 2018 right now.
I think we should start creating our own awards on First Touch Media instead of subscribing to the Ballon d'Or. Let's just create our own.
Wanka watch.
Yeah, we got Wanka Watch.
The golden wanka.
I mean, what's the opposite of Wanker Watch, right? Who's somebody who we're gonna give their okay? I'll give my flowers to Nketiah this week.
Yeah,
He deserved it.
I think
you know?
so.
But what's the name of that award?
For Nketiah is wanka watch.
Yeah, I was about to say. I know what Mickey's
Bro,
gonna
don't
say.
do him like that. Wanka Watch is Chelsea
No,
consistently, or
Wanka watch is Man U.
or it's 10 fraud.
Yeah, we ain't even talking about wankas
well,
yet.
it's the last match of the week, and
Oh man,
and man, you are absolutely on Wanka watch.
Dang, we done talking about Liverpool already?
Yeah.
yeah, there's
you
not a
don't-
whole lot to talk. You guys play Nottingham.
You don't get your 15-minute cameo, Mickey. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What more is there to talk
it's
about?
Okay.
Does Luis Diaz get his spot back?
Probably.
I think he does.
I
I think
hope
him and
so.
Salah are nailed on, and everybody else is up for debate.
Okay.
It's just, we got 12 attackers. It's cool.
Must be nice.
We got to talk about some not so nailed on starters for Man U, because their back line in
Was what the hell?
Lindelof, Maguire, Dalot, and Johnny Evans.
The commentator at the beginning goes,
It might be the worst lineup in a Manchester derby.
That's not what he said. He goes, respectfully, this Manchester United lineup can be described as curious. That's what he said. I was like, yo.
Dude, Johnny Evans was playing for Leicester not, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, and then he went to West Brom for a while.
Yeah, bro, what's going on?
I don't know.
I mean,
Like-
they signed him because they were light on center backs, and their
now
two
he's-
starting center backs both got injured.
You fucking spending dumb money on what and then not on your spine? That's crazy. I mean,
their injury list is kind of ridiculous with Varane and Martinez both being out, and
Don't
Luke
care.
Shaw.
don't care.
They've lost every piece of their back line.
And Bisaka.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka. They've lost the entire back line that they want to play probably, but
Dalot's
they
good.
still suck.
Dalot is good, but Lindelof, Maguire, Johnny Evans,
It's a fever
for
dream.
City, you're playing that for City? Whoa.
I mean, I think Holland should have had more. This is one of the rare
Yeah.
games where I think Onana actually played pretty well.
Considering.
He's
Yeah.
been having a pretty good run of form
Yeah.
considering playing for United. Yeah, I've just this week on social media I've been seeing a lot of things that Wreck-It Ralph was saying not a year ago about what is needed at United, and it's never looked more true. It's crazy.
I mean, they lost.
Got a bunch of divas, man. Bunch
Yeah.
of divas that don't want to work hard. They're captains of fucking crybaby that doesn't want to work hard. And it's a joke team. It's a joke team with a joke coach that doesn't have any actual tactics. my favorite part was after the game when he said,
We played our
"We
game
played
plan.
our game, man. We played our game plan. They did a good job."
Brutal.
Moron.
I'm glad he's not like throwing the players under the bus because
Except for
that's
Sancho
He did do that.
and Ronaldo.
He didn't throw Sancho under the bus. He was like, he just didn't train that well this week. Which
No,
I don't think that's throwing them under the bus. Like, Jose
He-
Mourinho will come out and be like, he is fucking bad at soccer. Like, there's a difference. Like,
Who would
but-
you rather have right now, Ten Hag or Mourinho?
Mourinho.
definitely has this team higher in the table.
I mean,
Even though they're 8th. I can't believe Man U's 8th somehow.
I mean, they've gotten some results.
There's-
Scott
Yeah.
McTominay saved them a couple times.
I saw.
Yeah, now he's their 10. Like, like, that's crazy.
It's crazy. This is my life.
Yeah.
I'm sure
They're
that's
basically
what.
just Leicester, man.
I'm sure that's what Erling Haaland is thinking when he looks over and the guy that's standing in front of him is Harry Maguire. He's like, this is crazy. This is my life.
It's crazy that they held him to 2.
I know, because he
Yeah.
should have had more. Onana has a big double save at the beginning of the game that Maguire ends up clearing off the line when they should have gone 1-0 up. In terms of the City team, that penalty that they give against Højlund on Rodri, also never a penalty in my eyes. That's just terrible refereeing. You cannot like decide the game in a Manchester derby with that call. Like, Rodri's never getting to that ball. He's never getting there. Did you get to see it?
Yeah, man. I'm still. I don't know what to say. I mean,
don't either.
I'm not shocked anymore. It's just a week in, week out kind of thing now.
Like, we
Yeah.
And it feels a little bit better watching United get a taste of their own medicine now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I guess.
like
but
these United fans cry so much, but they're literally like they weren't quite as bad as City about it, but like they had their City era. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. They ran the league and had the most money for the longest time. Like, that's why everybody and their mother is a United fan nowadays,
Right.
because they were the best team.
Mm-hmm. And Ronaldo was there. The
Yeah.
Ronaldo factor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Erling Haaland, you guys said he should have had more. He had a pretty great game. 2 goals, 1 assist. Can't really complain.
Bro, he should have scored
He
more.
should have finished more.
Yeah.
Okay.
even the goals that he got were a little closer to the goalie than
You would
you
expect.
would want.
Yeah.
But now I'm just hating.
Yeah.
But I'm also,
Just a hater.
I'm a hater. And when I watch that man Darwin play, I feel something in my soul that I don't feel when I watch that robot freak play.
Yeah,
He's
you,
kind of the Terminator.
you might want to get that checked out.
It's passion, mate. It's passion.
Jack Grealish started this game.
Yeah, over
he
Jeremy
hasn't
Doku.
played- He hasn't started in, 5 games?
He went
6
kind of
games?
dumb.
I was about to say, he looked like the
Yeah.
best player for City.
Jack Grealish goes dumb against top 6 teams. Other than that,
Man U top 18.
Another chaos
oh
merchant.
yeah, wait, we're talking about United.
Yeah.
Traditional top 6.
Right.
He's a big game player is what you're trying to say.
I don't know. There's not a whole lot to say about this. Like I
it's just
expected a 3-0, if not 6-0
I was gonna
scoreline.
say, scoring 5 against United is not for everybody.
No, last year it was. I mean, last year City lost at Old Trafford. So don't get me wrong. This lineup and this team not getting a result against Man City,
No.
no matter where they're playing. But it's not always like it's like the what's the name of the Everton Liverpool fixture?
The derby, the Merseyside
The
derby.
Merseyside derby. Yeah, it's any given Sunday, specifically on those matches.
But not anymore.
Yeah, you guys are dominating it more. But
I was talking about this one.
yeah, on this one, it's just a mismatch. If they have their full starting 11, I think Man United puts up a better performance and still loses. But I just think that at the end of the day, it's Ten Hag might get fired soon.
I think he's on the hot seat, especially if
Højlund-
they lost today versus Newcastle in the EFL. So,
Højlund 007,
Yep.
yeah.
008 now.
Well, he does have 3 goals and an assist in Champions League, so
Don't care.
I simply
What
don't
are
care.
they going to
I
do in the
don't
Champions
care.
League?
nothing. Maybe make it out of their group if they're lucky. They got to beat Copenhagen.
I love it. I love to see it. Mason Mount, joke player. Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
Thank God he got sold from Chelsea.
Yeah, man, you guys are doing so well now.
Yeah, you guys are really showing him
Yep.
4 points, 4 spots below him on the table.
We'll take this cool 70 mil. I'll take it.
The best part of Chris's day is when he wakes up for 5 minutes before he remembers that he's a Chelsea fan.
It doesn't take that long.
Just start brushing your
Yeah.
teeth, and you're like, "Fuck."
as soon as my feet hit the ground,
His agony.
Just
Yeah.
reminded of my mortality.
I'm connected
Curled
back to the
on my
roots.
floor.
Yeah. All
Man.
right, I already told you who my wanker watch was and I'm gonna call it the Golden Boy Award. We're gonna
Yeah, let's not
workshop
call it
that.
that.
Nah, let's.
Workshop that.
Yeah.
Who's like the standout performer?
For me this week?
Yeah, for this week.
Oh man, that's a toughie.
It could be a team. It could be a coach. It can be a player.
It's rough because I feel like the good wins just came against bad teams. You know.
As I'm an Arsenal fan, I will go with something other than the Eddie Nketiah,
Okay.
and I'll say Hwang Hee-chan.
Okay, I like
think
that.
I think
I
that's
like
a big goal to score.
that. Yeah.
And to like make up for basically giving away a pen, which probably in my eyes should not have been called,
Mm-hmm.
to like have the mental resilience to come back and score a banger at the end of the year or at the end of the game. It was a good week for him.
These
Yeah.
dog shit games, man. Holy hell.
Who are you saying, Mick? You gonna give your usual? I think Mo Salah great.
No, you can't give it to
Nah,
Mo.
no way. No way. I'll give it to the big boy Dom, bro.
Solanke?
Hell no. The
Oh,
real one.
Szoboszlai.
Okay.
2
I see.
assists, even though one of them was okay. I don't. It's hard because he bosses the midfield every game. To be
Yeah.
honest,
No, he's probably the best signing of the year thus far. I think him, Declan Rice, Jeremy Doku. I think they're all kind of in a similar conversation to, be the best
Maddison.
signing. Yeah, Madison for sure.
I think
Sorry, I missed that
Madison's
one.
probably signing of the year right now.
I mean, I think it's just like difficult to sum everything up in goals and assists. Like
I
he's an
agree.
attacking player and he does amazing work for that Tottenham team. But I think
he's a cam.
yeah, but he's a cam. And like
He's a
He's a
good cam,
goal-scoring
though. There's
midfielder.
like a lot of cams out there that are not doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
But Szoboszlai is all in one package.
he's everything.
He's every single one of every position. No, I'm playing, but he has been crazy good. And my wanka watch is definitely Eric Ten fraud.
Yeah, bro. Terrible. He's out, man. I feel like he lost today. He's out. Two back-to-back 3-0 losses. That's inexcusable.
I think if they give him time to get all these players back and everything, that they'll probably be happy that they did. But I wouldn't be surprised if they fired him. I think my wanka watch for the week, every motherfucker on the internet that said some bullshit along the lines of Man United have won 17 of 18 games with Harry Maguire. Like, no, shut up. He is terrible.
He's coming for Danny.
Yes. No, anyone. Because other
Maguire.
people said it too. Dude, all
He
over
only
Twitter.
played against dog shit teams.
Yeah, bro. You put him out there against Sheffield. He could, like, a team of 11 Harry Maguires could probably beat Sheffield.
I'd pay to see that.
I would too. Bunch of slab heads running around out there.
A lot of header goals.
Yeah.
I feel like you're letting Eric Ten Hag's antics off a little bit too easy because the way I feel like he causes problems in the dressing room almost as much as any of the players that they've been blaming. The way he's handled this Sancho situation, like I get it. I get trying to hold people accountable, but like Sancho's like a young adult still, you know, and he like. They like banned him from eating there, and they banned him from the stadium. And then I saw something that was like Ten Hag was like, if he apologizes behind closed doors, we're gonna make it public. And it's like,
Really?
bro?
Weird.
I didn't hear any of
That's
that.
weird.
Yeah. He is an egomaniac, I think.
What kind of message does that send to your players too?
I am the
Like-
biggest thing here.
Yeah.
I am
Right.
bigger
I
than the
think
team.
making Bruno Fernandes
Your
captain is telling enough as it is, because like that man is not woven out of captain
It's
material.
really tough to say who on that team is though. Do you give it to Rashford? because he's like the Man U boy.
No, I'd rather give it to Harry Maguire because he is like a Man United boy. I feel like he is
at this point, I guess.
Like Rashford still throws fits on the pitch.
Yeah.
Maguire will score an own goal and still look like composed at least.
Is that what causes the captain?
Ten Hag didn't give himself the captaincy.
Yeah, set himself out there.
Right. All right.
The end era's come to an end. I don't want to keep quoting that every week that Man U loses.
Era's come to an end.
The era's come to an end, and this podcast has come to an end.
Aw.
Thank you all for
Let's
tuning in.
talk about Liverpool more.
No, we're good.
Thank you all for watching another episode of Arch Rivals. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it with your best friends. Tell them their team shit.
Comment in the comments. Tell us that we're shit.
Yeah.
I love seeing that every week.
Yeah.
All right.
It's always Man U fans.
Peace. Thank you for watching this episode of Arch Rivals. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thanks for watching.